Hey gameheads, let's take a look at the new release games of the first month of 2024. Now before we begin the video, I plead that you bear with me if my sound is a little bad. I lost my mic and also my PC got damaged, so you will have to bear with me. Okay, starting off slowly with Your Grace, a pixel style kingdom management simulator that caught my attention when I was browsing through Noodle Cake Games a few days ago. Your Grace is a management simulator, like I said before, where you play as a king as you make decisions for each of your citizens in an old medieval kingdom, listens to several petitions and decide who needs support, aid families with their personal problems and make decisions about their fate, hire generals, witches and hunters to aid you in battle and diplomatic efforts. The game is set in a fictional world where monsters and arcane practices inspired by Slavic folklore are the order of the day. So it is indeed an interesting premise, and I'm definitely going to try it out because management simulator games are often my cup of tea, and it's going to be available on the 31st of January. Next up is quite a weird one, Method Detective Competition. Now this is a visual novel point and click adventure title where you take on the role of a detective. But instead of solving a mysterious case like most of these sort of games entail, this time you participate in a competition with over 100 detectives with a prize pool of $100 million, solving series of clever crimes created by the world's smartest criminals, and all collectively held together by a mysterious authority known as the Game Master. The game features a plethora of eccentric characters that you get to know as time passes. Quote unquote, an absurd storyline, beautiful animation and lots of mystery to solve. It has a great rating on Steam and a premise that deviates from the norm, which I find interesting. Next up is Ponpu. So this one is an interesting game by Crunchyroll, the popular anime streaming website. And it did catch my attention thanks to its beautiful anime style 2D graphics. The game is a high-impact bomb action game that's pretty much just a fancy word for Bomberman style game. You play as a dog fighting through his world to defeat the evil dog god and save the universe from being reset. The game has great style movement and bomb placing mechanics which I believe work well together. The bosses are easily the most captivating factor of the game. They look well thought out, engaging, with beautiful animation that look a lot like Cuphead. It's just a Bomberman style game with a lot of humor in between that just fits well with the whole aesthetics of a dog destroying a dog god. So yeah, I'm going to try it out for real. Okay, next up is Devil May Cry Peak of Combat. Now this one has been buzzing around for a few years in the mobile community and it has gathered quite the hype, which is understandable seeing that it is a Devil May Cry game made for mobile. The first of its kind, bringing the top-notch combat and blissful combo-filled gameplay known to the franchise, taking a step further to bring both iconic bosses, touching scenes and fan-favorite characters from the series. It's more like a roundup of the past mixed with a new story that is exclusive to the game. Thanks to its global launch, it is now accessible in many places except for my country for some reason. Featuring phone-lagging incredible graphics, iconic location, and that sweet combo-filled gameplay. Okay, let's continue the list with Metabolts Day 1. As weird as the name may sound, the game is quite on the hidden side, not even available on my Play Store. It did catch my interest because of its beautiful graphics and weird but engaging looking combat. Though the combat isn't one that requires much engagement, you control a group of characters from brawlers to rangers that fight enemies automatically as you activate periodical skills. It is more like an auto battle arena style 3 vs 3 game that isn't turn-based for some reason, but you just have to activate the right skills at the right time to really get it playing. In the end, it's another anime auto battler with cool animation and even prettier graphics. Next up is Night RPG, Night Simulator. An action open world RPG, as the name suggests, the game follows the journey of a young squire on his way to become a powerful knight, gaining experience, completing challenging quests, and experiencing thrilling adventures. There is an open world to explore set in a fantasy medieval timeline with castles, villages, and mythical landscapes to explore, with easy traversal by your trusted steed. Fight fierce monsters, bandits, and mythical creatures in exciting combat scenarios that has quite interesting combat animation. The game is a pretty generic RPG with not so appealing graphics, but seems to be a passionate small project with a lot of thought and potential. Okay, next up is Ugly by PID Games, a puzzle platformer that follows the story of a tormented nobleman's psychic as he dives into the enigmatic world of Ugly, where he has to confront the truth about his broken past. The game mechanics is in a sense different, where you generate a shadowy reflection using a magic mirror in order to swap places with, unlocking new angles for puzzle solving, potential, and exploration. Kind of like where you control two different characters at the same time, which you can switch back and forth and each able to reach distinct places, creating a creative way to solve puzzles. Unravel a profound textless story that delves deep into the corners of the broken mind, with each puzzle room conquered, bringing clarity to your clouded past. With handcrafted 3D graphics, multiple endings, a plethora of challenging puzzles, and a dark story about depression and loss of self, I for one believe it is worth playing, especially because PID Games had a hand in it. Next up is Avalar, an action RPG title that I find quite interesting, focusing on team building where you collect several heroes, each having a unique playstyle, backstory, and ability. You can interswitch between 3 selected heroes to create a combat style tailored to you. In terms of combat, it does look a lot like Diablo with an overhead locked-in view, and the enemies look challenging and interesting as well. With an open world to explore, completing quests, defeating bosses, raiding dungeons, gathering loot, leveling up, the entire RPG gimmick. Like I said, it isn't too different in terms of what the genre brings, but I wouldn't sign it off like that because the graphics and the gameplay are interesting at least. Alteleir Resleriania, Forgotten Alchemy is next. I hope I didn't destroy the pronunciation. This is a turn-based action RPG and a continuation of the long-running series that is quite popular in its own fandom. Embark on an adventure to revive alchemy with a cast of charming characters. The game does have its fair share of beautiful 3D graphics and a little bit of fan service here and there, but it's not surprising since it's coming from a Japanese game. The turn-based gameplay is a lot like the game's genre with flashy skills, drawn-out and well-animated cutscenes, and cool looking effects, all rendered in mesmerizing graphics to really sell the entire thing. It's quite tactical but yet simple, and it just looks like a good game nonetheless. And if you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, this is a game for you. Okay, next up is Plant vs Zombie 3. One of EA's biggest gaming franchises has released their third installment after what has seemed like forever, and I for one cannot wait to play it. If you don't know about the Plant vs Zombie franchise, well, you just got into gaming very recently because it is an absolutely insanely popular game. In this zombie turn-based strategy, you plant several different types of plants, each having their own unique abilities as you prepare for a wave of zombies that are trying their best to eat your gardener's brains. And by gardener, I mean Dave. Dr. Zombo has returned and transformed Neighborville into a zombie paradise. Embark on an epic adventure with Dave and his crazy team of heroes in a story that's even crazier than ever before as they journey through a fog to freeze other citizens, battle to save and rebuild Neighborville your way. Yeah, it is a banger of a series with a huge cult following, and upon discovering the third installment, is coming soon and is even available on the mobile platform fills my heart with joy, and I for one will be testing it out once it releases in my country. So what do you think of these new games? Did anyone feel your fantasy? If not, check out other games in the videos popping right now on your screen. As usual, comment down your thoughts, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out though.